And we're live. Okay, welcome back to another great episode of Dr. G Radio Live. As you can see here, a dear friend of mine, Dr. Louis Turi, is back. Louis,
right.
How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Wonderful, apart from that I'm just going crazy with this Mercury Retrograde that mess up everything you're trying to do.
Well, tell us about it.
Well, Mercury is a tiny little planet that evolves around the sun, and 3 times a year it goes backwards. So it appears to be going backwards, but not. He's going forward. It's just an illusion, an optical illusion because of the ecliptic. So it's like a train that goes forwards and it's going really, really fast. That is when life is going normal. But at the same time, when you go too fast, you're missing things. You're missing the boat. So God is saying to the train driver, slow down, stop, go back, and try to get the people that miss the train, literally. So people are more receptive to metaphysics. Mercury regulates every moving part: cars, your telephone, communication, transportation. You know what? You make an appointment, it ain't gonna happen. I mean, somebody was supposed to come today to fix my water line, and didn't show up. Oh, I'm sorry, his wife is sick, whatever it is, any excuses. Are you gonna have that stuff nonstop? And in your case, because you're on the radio, okay, Mercury radio communication, you have a very, very strong mercurial energy. So you're going to be stopped, and Mercury was your hand, your arms, your fingers. And that's when people fall or break the hand or their fingers. I know, happened to me during Mercury Retrograde.
How long ago?
Oh, many years ago. But
now, let me ask you this. When did this retrograde event start?
Well, it started just a few days ago. But since I'm practicing Nostradamus divine astrology, I always put a week before and a week after the given date. So you're right in the middle of the soup. In fact, the Titanic went down because of Mercury retrograde. Everybody tried to communicate, but they could not communicate. Things were wrong. The shuttle, when the shuttle was sent, I did all that I could to reach NASA to tell them, don't, you're going to kill
Challenger or Columbia?
The 7 astronauts who died, that was the Challenger, I believe. He exploded.
Yeah, 86, yeah.
So all I'm trying to tell you, there is so much going on with Mercury retrograde. So you're trying to take a plane to go somewhere, you're going to get stuck. And in the last video that I did when I got married a few years ago, I told my family, do not fly unless you fly during those dates. And they pick up the exact date. The day they arrive in Phoenix, the Icelandic volcano exploded.
Whoa.
I mean, millions of people were stuck in airport.
Yeah, I remember that.
Not my family, because they paid attention. That's the beauty of being cosmic conscious.
So are we overdue any events? Because I'm as you know, living in LA, obviously being here during the 94 Northridge quake, literally at the epicenter, in Northridge. Anyhow, we've been overdue for average. We get a quake, at least a 6.9 or so, at least every 20 years. And they've been saying that the San Andreas fault line should have erupts every 150 years, and therefore should have erupted about 200 years ago, which means we're talking like 220 plus years overdue. So we're talking the last time was 550, 570 years ago, or no, 350. The point is that's been overdue, and we, as the cycle, are overdue as well. So what do you foresee as far as Titanic plates?
Well, it's just a matter of time, like you said. And I have been given, to those who are following me on my YouTube channel, when I tell you it's going to be an earthquake, be ready. There will be an earthquake on the timing that I gave you. It's like I said today, be careful for crazy people to go and kill people. The next thing you know, a few hours ago, crazy nutcase in Phoenix started to shoot everybody in the streets randomly. So when it comes to earthquake, I see something going on. It will happen 150% sure during one of my Uranic window. But I believe, let me give you some dates.
Yeah, please.
Let me give you some dates. The first one will be on the 20th. That's where you're going to...
so it's 3 days from now?
Yes.
Whoa.
There's one on the 20th, and the other one is on the 27th. So I'm giving you those 2 dates for you to pay attention. The 20th will be more things about Russia, death, anything to do with secret, the FBI, the CIA, terrorist attack, people famous dying, again, cops killing people, like the energy that we are in. That's why I give the date of the 20th, because we are into that window now. But the 27th is more for shocking news about nukes, news about technology, cyber attack, UFOs, anything and everything that dwell with the energy of Aquarius is the sudden release of energy. Let me tell you something real fast, which I teach my students. Uranus is kind of a circle with a triangle on top, an antenna on top of it. This is the planet who regulates the world of Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius myself. I mean, I was born into the constellation of Aquarius. There's a lot of planets in Aquarius. That's why I'm an astrologer, and UFOs are attracted to me. A magnet will attract a piece of wood. So Aquarius was the sudden release of energy, which means explosions, nukes, earthquakes, volcano, tornado. So that's the energy coming on the 27th, put it this way. And it was Japan. That's why Japan has so much earthquakes, so much tornado. And then that's why Nagasaki and Hiroshima are the first city in the entire world who have experienced the worst of the sudden release of energy of a uranic window. So this big earthquake you're talking about will take place during one of these negative uranic window. I have the dates for the entire year. Okay, but the next people don't have a long memory, so I give you 2 dates, and you be sure that I'm going to be there and remind you on the 27th that earthquakes will take place, or explosion, or airplane going down, God knows what. It's so electronic.
It's interesting you mentioned nukes, and I'll tell you why. I would never, who would think that right now we're going to start some sort of nuclear war. However, we just got threatened by Russia that if there is another COVID probe ordered, and it points to the Wuhan virology lab, they are going to start launching nuclear weapons to the United States. That was a direct threat from China. Just published, I believe, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. That was a little shocking. I was like, okay, let's pay attention for nuke stories now.
So you're already there. So all I'm trying to tell you is that Putin was born with the head of the dragon, which is very lucky energy, in the world of Aquarius, which means nukes, which means cyber attack technology. He has much more power in that area than the United States. The United States and Biden, both of them were born with the tail of the dragon, which is negative. In the world of Aquarius, sudden release of energy. Think on what happened in Pearl Harbor, airplane explosion. Think what happened on the 9/11 that I predicted in full detail. Airplane explosion. This is America. America is strongly prone, sad enough, to suffer in nuclear exchanges. And that's why it's very important to be cautious. But I believe the good extraterrestrials, the draconians, are making sure that somewhere, somehow, we're not going to be killing ourselves. There is forces at work that are protecting the human race that not many people are aware of. But this is something I have to mention to make sure people do not start to go, oh my gosh, we're going to die, because that's not what I profess. The human will, the part of God in us, is much stronger than the dragon, than the stars, than anything else. But as human beings, we have to start to realize that what the Russians are doing is a war. They want us to go against each other, to have so much chaos, so much problem that at the end, when we self-destruct, well, Putin wants to become the king of the world. This is nature. We'll be very happy to see America going downhill. So being the way we are right now, because
kind of is the king of the world if you think about it in some sense. The power he's got, life tenure, they just keep resetting his exactly. Stay, as prime minister, president, whatever his role is these days. The point is, like you said, king. That's the best. Billion-dollar palace.
Let me tell you something that I want you to remember, okay? Because it could be next week, next month, next year, or whenever. Putin will die of a heart attack, and so will Kim Jong-un. Both of them. I look at their stars. Both of them have a real red cross on the heart. Listen, as I said, 1 week, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, I am into the future. I'm giving you a timing. It cannot be correct as far as the timing is concerned. It's not like an earthquake. But I'm telling you, it will go because of a heart attack, and so will Kim Jong-un. Both of these guys have a very strong energy into the world of Aquarius. When you have a good set of stars pushing a country or a president the sad reality is we have elected a president. He's a Scorpio, This is the sign of life and death. Okay, the sign of drama, life and death. And you could see what happened to his life. He lost his kids, God knows what Biden went through. So as a Scorpio, he's supposed to die and rebirth constantly, becoming better, stronger, wiser, the eagle of the zodiac, Scorpio. But at the same time, we have elected a president to have a very dramatic resonance about his stars. And his tail of the dragon in Aquarius is not going to help. But remember, America was born with the head of the dragon in Leo, the tail in Aquarius. That's why America has been set by God to become the king of the world, the leader of the world. So both Obama, ex-president, and Biden, both of them were born with the head in Leo. That's why they end up conjuncting the head of the United States, making sure the United States stands as it was designed by God through the stars to be the leader, the savior of the world. A lot of people cannot relate to me because they don't have the either the psychical tools to understand what I'm saying, or they don't have cosmic awareness. They don't read the stars like I do. So they can only see life through their 5 logical, rational senses. But I'm telling you, Biden will bring drama, but at the same time, he will rebirth America. His moon, which is the United States nucleus, the family, the security principle, is in Taurus. Taurus is the bank, Merrill Lynch Corporation, the financial district in New York, solidity, security. So his stars will bring a lot of money, a lot of security, and the future will prove me right as far as that is concerned. So hopefully, let's hope his tail of the dragon in Aquarius is not messing up with nukes, because we are in a very, very sensitive time with this president and his stars.
Have you ever heard that essentially about this cycle? You know, there's only 4 elements that I'm going to tell you about, but if you can, each one can actually break down to more of that. Difficult times breed strong people breed good times breed weak people breed difficult times. Well,
Correct.
Guess what? We just had 80s and 90s good times, right?
Absolutely.
What have we been going through? Woke culture, cancel culture. Weak people, 17% of these people are, are prescribed something. That is not something that 20 years ago was the case for a growing child. So we definitely have something that scares the crap out of me. I look at my 5-year-old goddaughter, I'm like, whoa, it's kind of scary. Sometimes I feel blessed that I'm not bringing a child in this world because it's freaky. And so I worry that all these things that you're talking about possibly might lead to something major, because 80 years ago was World War II. 80 years before that, Civil War. 80 years before that, Revolutionary War. So is that we heading to something that major?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, 10 years ago when I was on George Norrie, I told him, George, we have only 50 years to live. That was 10 years ago. So that gives us 40 years, but I'm not sure if we're going to go that far. But as far as chemicals are concerned, I was born ADD, ADHD, so I have a tremendous mental and physical energy. I'm always fidgeting. Yeah. So I could never pay attention to the doctor. And during those days, we didn't have those chemicals that you have nowadays. What they had is electric shock. And when they said, Louis is crazy, we need to fix his brain, and wanted to electrocute my head in the 60s, my mom says, oh, my dead body, I'm going to let him run around the wall until he burns his energy. There's a big difference between education and intelligence. People are made a very specific way with a different UCI, a unique celestial identity, for a very, very specific purpose. You are doing what you're doing because of your stars, but the majority of human beings, 99.9%, are cosmic and conscious. They are oblivious of the power of the stars. And on top of that, they do not understand that there are extraterrestrials that are part of your makeup. Okay, remember, the law is very simple: positive, negative, up and down, black and white, the front to back, God, devil, yin yang, 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 sides of the brain. You're like a battery. Okay, now one side of your head, the spiritual side, is controlled by the Draconis, which are a really, really progressive group of extraterrestrial that will stimulate your mind. Right. Yeah, they stimulate your mind to create a song, to create a technology that fixes your heart, that create melody. You're talking about the progressive side. Then you have another side of the brain where the reptilians, the reptile mind, the reptilians are there, and they are they can only survive with negativity, with fear, with chaos in dark matter. And they reside on Pluto, which is the farthest planet on the verge of our solar system, in dark matter. So they stimulate the mind of scientists to create nukes, to create viruses, to create weaponry, mass destruction. They stimulate the mind of crazy people, those who take drugs, who smoke pot, those who legally or illegally are into the jurisdictions of Neptune, and those drugs are easy target for the reptilians, which hijack their body, their mind, and their soul, and turn them into crazy people. They're going to get depressed, they're going to get degenerated, they're going to commit suicide. But before that, they make sure to get some of them, we get a machine gun like this lunatic in Phoenix and start to kill innocent people left and right. People are not aware of those extraterrestrial. People are looking for ETs everywhere. You don't have to look far. They're already part of your genetic, of your psychical metabolic conception. They're already in your head. And then that's why people are going more crazy than ever in airplanes. Everywhere you go, they behave like jerk. They're completely out of order. And then no scientist can give you a plausible explanation to what's going on, to why they behave such like a lunatic, literally. It's because the reptilians are getting more strength upon the human race. And I'm trying every single day to make people aware to fight those negative entities with the same tools that they use. Instead of feeding them with fear, chaos, negativity, insecurity, just do the opposite. Upgrade your spiritual value. Upgrade your own vibration. Send good thought. Do something good. Don't respond to somebody negative. Do not respond. And if you feel any type of negativity, or every word that comes out of your mouth is negative, you are now feeding those entities, and they're going to feed on you until you become like a dry leaf. You don't want to do that. But who is there to teach people about those entities? Now you have all these very, very popular UFO researcher talking heads, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, remember, they have a hell of good things to share to the world, okay? But none of them have seen a UFO, let alone talk to one like I do, Draco, okay? So I'm talking, what I'm trying to say, you know, the real people who have a real experience, a real connection with extraterrestrial are not asked anything. Meantime, you have educated idiots like DeGrasse Tyson. Mm-hmm. Okay, this guy is the most logical, the most practical, and the last person to talk about ETs or extraterrestrials. Because
how great would it be if he actually saw one? We actually uncovered the truth somewhere. Like, hey, Neil, what about that time you saw that triangle craft and you told all your friends? You know?
Exactly.
I'm waiting for something like that to happen.
Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, you know what, Dr. J, there is no doubt. We're not talking about a light. We're not talking about a walking. We're not talking about something weird. We're talking about a flying saucer 30 feet above my head. You're talking about me getting inside. You're talking about me talking to them and leaving me a freaking headache that I never wish upon my worst enemy. So this is what the people should hear, not people like DeGrasse, who has absolutely no cosmic consciousness and can only see to the end of his nose because his spiritual pride, his education, make him unable to enter the archetypal realm of supracosmic consciousness. He doesn't have the tools. You're not going to teach Mozart or Beethoven to play music. You're not going to teach Michael Jackson to sing and dance. Okay, you got to have a gift. You got to have it. And this is what the ETs have done to me. They gave me the spiritual, extraordinary, refined perception to give you a specific date for earthquakes. And you're going to see, okay, on the 27th. I already did that on your show a few times. If you remember.
Yeah, you're pretty darn accurate. That's what scares me every time you tell me a date. I'm going to worry if I'm like, okay, take a few breaths here and there. All right. Now, this UAP report is coming up. Apparently they've been starting to get briefed. I can't confirm that. I don't have the into the current oval as I did, say, 7 months ago, where I can actually confirm things as I used to. So what do you think is driving this, obviously not disclosure, but this massive increase of sightings of like an invasion, and then if you're talking about these dates, well, the 25th falls right there in the middle between the 20th and 27th, pretty close, to this, obviously closer to the 27th. The point is that you're talking about a week before, a week of, and a week after. You gave me 2 dates, and 25th is between them. That's so right. More negative crap or
well,
what?
Let me tell you, let me point out something. First of all, the government, the scientists, the scientific community, they know absolutely nothing, nada, zilch about ETs or extraterrestrials or flying saucer. They have no clue. Secondly, the extraterrestrials are for sure master of matter, and they are not going to knock at the door of Mr. Douglas Tyson because they're so much smarter than he is, and they are not going to talk to the scientific community or your president. Okay, they are interested in something they have lost. That's called God. That's called the spirit. That's called the reason to why they are. So they are becoming slowly but surely like artificial intelligence robots. Okay, they are so rational. They are so practical. They are so genius. Like they are so down to earth. 1,000,000 times more than Mr. Grass Tyson. Okay, so they've got nothing to learn from him. They are wondering how people can create, how people can be spiritual, how people can perceive God, something they have negating forever. So it's the exaggeration of Mr. Tyson at 1,000,000 times. That's what the extraterrestrials are. And humanity is moving on that direction. And the extraterrestrial, the good one, do not want this to happen. Okay, so they're starting to becoming more and more obvious on the good side and the bad side. Above your head, you have a battle that's taking place. Like always, positive, negative, up and down, black and white, God, devil, yin, yang. Those good entities, those good entities are fighting the Draconis, and the battle is getting more and more and more intense. That's why humans are responding more than ever to the negative input of those reptilians, which people call the Reptilians. Draco told me the real name is Reptilians. The Reptilians do not obey the laws of the Grand Cosmic Order. The Galactic Federation of Grand Cosmic Order made it clear no ETs can interfere with the human experience. Okay.
Yeah, that's the galactic rule.
Right. That's the good ETs. They respect the laws. Now, the reptilians don't give a damn. They hijack the body, the mind, of the soul of people of all age, but they tend to concentrate on the government official. That's why they get all this noise in their head that people think is coming from Russia or China. They're also aiming towards the police and most of all children. That's why scary. America is about to lose a lot of kids. Within the next few months from now, you're going to see more and more children committing suicide. And it's already going out of order with young women of 15, 14 years old. They cannot stop those kids because women naturally are much more sensitive than guys. We can handle it a little bit better than female. Plus, female, the moon regulates women. The menstrual cycle of a woman is 22.5 days, which is exactly the same cycle of the moon going through the belt of the zodiac. And the moon is right there. And God did not create the moon or Mars for Mr. Elon Musk to send a little robot out there. No, there is much more behind God creating the stars and the heavens, not to endorse the financial endeavors of those rich suckers who have too much time and too much money in their hands. They should put the money to where people and kids can regenerate. Nowadays, kids can't regenerate at all. They are going to seek answers using Google. They're going to land on those religious fanatic groups, which are spending millions and millions of dollars everywhere to advertise.
Billions. Groom the future.
Exactly. Join my religion. There is 875 different religions created by the reptilians because it creates chaos. See what happened in Israel right now. Do you think it's a land?
Hamas, you mean?
No, yeah. It's
right?
It's a religious war. It started 2,000 years ago. It never going to end. Okay, so they are trying to. It's important to bring back this cosmic wisdom back to our college university. That's why I'm working so hard to help those kids to regenerate. If they learn everything: history, geography, science, language. But who the hell is there to teach them who they are, where they came from, their connection with God? Jesus' cosmic ministry, which is astrology. How Do they know how do they can get the grounding? So everything is going crazy, it's going too fast, they don't regenerate, and boom. And it's getting worse, and it's going to get much worse. I'm telling you, I hate to say it. I worry about Russia. I worry about our children. America is going to lose a lot of kids in the next few months.
Now, how do you help them regenerate?
By making them aware of their connection with the divine. But you have to remember, 2,000 years ago, you probably heard of these three wise men following the stars.
Yeah, I always thought it was three wise men following a UFO. It makes more sense.
Let me explain exactly what's going on. And then they call so three kings and then three magi. Magi means, of course, they were connected with extraterrestrial. Wise men means they could read the stars. But you have to remember, during those days, only the clergy, they had the money, the organization, the pen, the paper. So they knew that a man was going to be born under a very, very extraordinary set of stars that would make this man a leader of a new age. 2,000 years ago, the age of Pisces. The next thing you know, it goes baby Jesus popping out. The Virgin Mary, but she never had sex. That's called artificial insemination. That's the draconics, the good ETs that wanted a man from Earth to be born under those very unique, specific stars. Okay, and then he became Jesus. But when Jesus wanted to introduce humanity to our Father in the heaven, believe me, he did not have the Bible in mind. The Bible came 200 or 300 years after his death, okay? And the Bible was edited and re-edited and produced by the politically oriented church. So they didn't want to give you that wisdom. Now, let me tell you something else. If you Google Dr. Turi, Pope Francis, you're going to see pictures of all the popes being taught astrology by the Vatican Council. Oh, don't touch astrology. But the Vatican teaches you.
1,500 years, something like that. Yeah.
And then you're going to see pictures of the Pope being enthroned under the sign of Leo. You're going to see pictures of the dragon and all the signs of the zodiac all over the Vatican. That tells you what they have hidden under the 75-mile secret library.
Yeah, their vault. Now, because each of their popes that passes away is entombed there, I heard that, I don't know, maybe it's from 1300 era, there's a gray alien pope that's, entombed in the Vatican. Now, obviously, how the hell are we going to confirm that? But I know that's been going around for several years, if not decade plus. But how cool would that be to know that's one of the secrets they have, because they have the body of their Pope /
You're looking for physical information for a manifesto, which is highly spiritual. Remember, there is 3 stomachs in the human experience. Mm-hmm. The first one is food. Mm-hmm. So if you open a restaurant, chances are you will always have a job because people need to eat. Yes. And then when they finish eating, what do they want to do? Sex. Okay. So I'm not the good way to make a good business, sex. They are. And then the third one is the spirit. But the spirit meaning religion, of course, psychic work or astrology, the mind, the brain, okay, regeneration. But the spirit itself, if your head is not running properly, you won't be able to eat and you won't be able to perform either. So the spirit is the leader of all. So when you're talking about a pope, ETs, well, the extraterrestrial, the negative ET have found those who were born with a very strong Neptunians, okay? They put them in a position of power to start their own religion. Pretty much like David Koresh. Cults, Reverend Jones, the same story, killed 1,000 Christians. Yeah. Okay, and then, of course, Osama bin Laden. I mean, these are Pisces. You have, Christians are choosing the fish to represent their religion. Okay, okay. So you have the positive fish: Einstein, Michelangelo, George Washington, Dr. Turi, Lady Gaga. She's a singer. She's a Pisces. She's a creative. We are creative. And then you have the negative fish. This is all the religious lunatic that swims downstream. This is the hardest area of the human experience because, like a salmon, you're trying to swim back to your birthplace. As a child of the universe, is the stars where you came from. The problem, if the river goes that way 24/7, night and days, and you're trying to go, and then there is falls, you still have to go. It's very hard to go against what mom told you, grandpa told you, and what their descendants, what generation of indoctrination of a specific religion. Remember, I am Christian because I was born in France. But if I was born in the Middle East or in Asia, I wouldn't be Christian, okay? So we all curse at birth geographically with a religion. We're all forced to swim downstream. And we're going, all human beings are going the wrong way. You gotta go the other way where God resides. God never came down, wrote no books. He made the stars. We are children of the universe. We are the star dust of all those stars, so to speak. And once you understand and you build up enough cosmic consciousness, you realize the splendor of God in action in this dense physical world.
I've heard a great argument that one of the reasons for this insanity, high crime, just bad stuff happening all everywhere is because of lack of religion. And Marxism wants zero religion because the only religion is the state, like the communist state in China. So if that's being implemented here, there's a reason why no one's going to church anymore. And there's a reason why they're getting their way. And we're seeing the worst of the worst in people like every day, which is, again, I don't know how this is going to end, but according to what you're telling me, it doesn't end well at all.
No, sad enough. We still have time to turn things around, but we have to cast aside all those religions that created chaos. And that's something impossible. Because
I was going to say, isn't that pretty much all of them in some sense? Because
no, there is beauty in all religion at the core. Don't get me wrong, okay? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, all the information that involve any specific religion or behavior has been induced by the reptilians who manipulate the mind of those religious leaders, all in the name of greed, in the name of security, in the name of control, name it. As I said, you don't have to go to church to see God. It's in your heart. It's in your eyes. It's in other people. And then you have been made in the image of God. This is why people are messing up, because they're making a big difference between themselves and God. There is no difference between two images. You inherited the same creative power as your creator. That's why your future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thought. You know, I could ask you, tell me, what was this? What was this 100 years ago?
Oh, magic.
It didn't exist. What about Los Angeles 3,000 years ago? Nothing.
Sand and trees.
Nothing. But what I'm trying to say is you have to pay your bills. You have to take care of your insurance. You have to take care of your kids, the car. You are not being trained to tap on your subconscious, which is manipulated by the reptilians. And in religion's not going to give you the answers. You know, the scientists think they're going to fix everything with their mathematics. They think they know better than God and His design. And the religious fanatics, they think they're going to fix everything with the Bible or the Quran. No, is the reason, because astrology was taken away from us. This is why this world is so chaotic, because the laws. That's why I wear the FBI. I'm the first cosmic cop on the planet teaching the universal laws to all my followers all over the world. Okay, but it's important to realize the marvelous energy of the Creator once you start to swim upstream to where you came from. No downhill. No following dogma. Nothing is good. Nothing is real but chaos and war. This is why humanity has been fighting themselves and still killing themselves in the name of their God. Something is wrong. Astrology, unified. That's it.
When you mentioned that the UFOs or UAPs are literally right now in battle,
correct.
I've heard that from in the past, but I haven't heard that being described right now, other than that there's a massive increase, that everybody's being observed. Look what's happening with the military, essentially like, you know, playing games in some sense, stalking them, kind of scaring them in some, you know, way. So some people are arguing that this is nothing more than China or Russia.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well.
But when you're going 600 G's, I don't know who's going to explain that one.
Dr. G, you don't tell that to me. I mean, because I know, I mean, to me, it is not, it's not even a doubt. It's a reality. Because I've been there, done that, see them, talk to them. Make sense? And they left me with a legacy. So when you're talking to the normal people out there who never seen a UFO, for example, it's understandable. Okay, it's very understandable why they are scared. They don't understand that there cannot be those nasty guys without a good guy. You cannot have a day without a night, or up without a down, a front without a back, a God without a devil. You don't see only the negative aspect of life or the negative aspect of extraterrestrial, because now you're feeding them. And that's why they become more and more involved with the human being, and they become completely out of order. So what you're going to see also is a lot of activity. And the traditionally, our scientific community can only tell you, oh, that's a meteorite, or that is somebody which is coming from the. Now, these are ships that are being blown away by the Draconis because their scouts are too close to Mother Earth, and those entities are doing too much damage. They must be removed physically by the Draconis.
Do you think that's going to happen sometime soon, or are we just going to continue to stay invaded throughout the coming weeks?
It's been that way since forever, but we didn't have the internet.
Yeah,
we didn't have telephone. You have to understand the activity has been with us since forever, and it has been time. It has been even more active than currently. But it's because of the technology is also advancing that we are able to captivate those entities. And then there are people like me who had to go physically, where there is absolutely no doubt. And you can feel me. I am not making it up. My passion, my words are going through your heart, through your soul, because I'm not making it up. It's real. These things are real, the good and the bad ones. And it's up to you. The more you educate yourself, okay, and I would suggest you go to drturi.com and scroll down and click on Tubi, because sad enough, my video on Amazon Prime on UFOs, I am alien contactee, has been removed because I told in that video well before Trump was not reelected that he was going to lose the election. And I'm giving information that may not necessarily be allowed by the government. What I'm passing out is too extreme, is too far-fetched, and it's too real, and it scares them. So, and the Christians don't like my work. They're trying to save the world by promoting the Bible instead of my work. So they removed me. But
that's sad. That's the First Amendment again being violated.
But you can still see the movie if you go to Dr. Turi, to Tubi. I'm also on the many area on Fox, a different area. This movie is going all over the place. But it'd be good if we would be back there. And if people can just go there for me and then tell them, hey, I want to listen to Dr. Turi. I want you to reinstate this movie on UFOs. Please do so they will put it back.
Yeah, because, there's a lot of, UFO ET related movies on Prime. It's shocking that they would do this. This must have been recently, because just a couple months ago, I remember it was still there.
Yeah, absolutely. But you see, I talk about Trump, and a lot of people don't like my prediction about Trump being. So they're going to go there, and then they're going to say bad things. They're going to make up stories. And then you have the religious fanatic, the same story. They're saying a bunch of stuff. The sad reality is there is a lot. I got so much endorsement. It's insane. But those people, they don't sign up. They just talk, and then that's it. And they go in the dark, and they live there dropping. And next thing you know, all the curious people who want to know about extraterrestrials, the good and the bad ETs, well, you're not there anymore. The Reptilians have done a lot of damage with me and coast to coast. They removed me from coast to coast.
Really?
The extraterrestrial, I'm not allowed on coast to coast anymore.
What? Since when?
Fired me about back in October 2019. That was the last time I was on coast to coast. I said to George, President Trump won't be reelected, and COVID is very serious. It's going to kill a lot of people. And I told them that, you will not go and dance and sing like you used to do. They didn't like that. So a year later, when I was supposed to go back, Tom sent me a letter saying, oh, you cannot talk about Trump. You cannot talk about COVID-19. You want to only talk about whatever it is. The next thing you know, I tell everybody I'm going to be on coast to coast like usual because I was a regular there, and he never invited me. So people thought that I lied, and I did not. So they don't like the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. So they got rid of me. You have to remember, Coast to Coast is a conservative radio station.
Yeah, but even just a few years ago, Roger Stone and Jerome Corsi, who are conservative, were on there, and that's something I wouldn't have expected. Political talk and real world events, essentially in real time. That's basically all they talked about. They definitely didn't talk about UFOs or anything like that. So for them to go with that, and then now that you're talking about completely opposite, where no mention of Trump's name or anything like that.
And I have all the email.
That means Roger and Jerry are no longer invited there as well.
Exactly. And I have all the email exchange with the producer, with Tom Deinheiser, where he's specifically asking me not to talk about Trump or COVID-19. I said, but what? You cannot handle the truth? What's wrong with that? I'm always been there saying the truth. I have very important information to pass on. No, they kicked me out. So, hey, but there is a God, the Draconis, put me on Amazon Prime with millions and millions more people who have watched my video. And again, my enemies, the Reptilians, came and knocked me out. So it's a constant battle for people who love me to push me there, and those who hate me to make up story to get me out of there because they're jealous, they're envious, they're infected. So
when there's nothing left, attack the character of the person. And that seems to be what's the name of the game for the last several years, at least 5 years, probably longer if we really think about it.
But you know what? Anyone that has been directly or indirectly involved with the U.S. Invasion of the capital, the U.S. Capitol, all of those people will pay the price, including President Trump. I think they're going to put him in jail.
You know what's really sad is you have people that have been in isolation in a newly built jail for 5.5 months now, and yet no court date, nothing for a freaking misdemeanor, and they're upping the charges, creating some sort of felony and conspiracy so they could throw the book at them with 15 to 25 years for a misdemeanor of
it's a business, Dr. G. It's a business. Those jails, those prisons are nothing else than a business.
Halliburton. Remember Halliburton?
Yes.
Build jails.
It's the business. It's a money-making machine designed to, mute people or put sometimes innocent people or people who have different views, whether it be political or religious. As far as I'm concerned, I'm trying to say to people, when I say something, it's not because I don't like president, or I am not into politics at all. I'm an astrologist. I don't talk about you because I don't know you. That's why I talk about Trump or Putin or the current president. I talk about famous people, okay? But when I do a reading, anybody is welcome. I talk about anything and everybody that I see through the stars. So it's very, very bad, I believe, to kill the messengers when I'm trying to make people aware that certain people are born with some stars that are no good for the country. And then I am, as I said, when it comes to Trump, he had a very negative dragon's tail, cursing the entire United States with foreign affairs, making our best friend our worst enemy, so to speak. That's changing with Biden because he has a very different set of stars, but it's not all very beautiful with Biden also, even though he's going to bring a lot of security and a lot of great economy, one of the best economies ahead of us at the same time. Hopefully, it's not because of war. During time of war, we always make more money.
That's right. Why? Because we pay for military, we bomb the heck out of the place, and then we build it up.
Exactly. That's how it is. But I'm talking because of the stars. I'm not taking no side at all. And people, especially Trump followers, are very emotional. They're unable to detach themselves from their political or religious views, put it this way.
It's a different name of politics. That's
Exactly. I am here to say the truth. And then I don't think they would like me to say what I just said on your show on Coast to Coast. They would probably shoot me there before the show is over. At least in your show, I can be me and I don't have to feel constipated.
Well, I'm sure this might get removed as well. Adam, knock on wood for that one, but because I've even said a couple of code words that are no longer allowed, which is insane because really you're removing everything that they want to remove the entire Constitution. It's not just the First and Second Amendment. Oh, look at the Fourth Amendment. That's being violated every single day, especially as I'm talking about January 6th. Different things like that. Due process. Where's the due process for anybody from January 6th? These are political prisoners who literally,
I can only agree with
the saddest part.
But at the same time,
throwing the book at political prisoners.
You have to look, for example, at the NRA, okay? When in the Constitution, it says you have the Second Amendment, you have the right to bear arms, okay?
Yeah.
That's fantastic, don't get me wrong. But the gun that they have in mind was this gun. Watch.
You're talking about
They didn't have this
of course,
type of gun in mind, you see. And then the NRA is understanding that, and he's tapping on the Second Amendment, and look what's going on. People are just dying like nonstop. Look at the facts. Even in my own city today, a freaking religious infected lunatic, not the reptilians infected lunatic, got an AK-47 and started to shoot randomly. Come on, if he had it, that'd be a different story. But you see, people.
Oh man, it's so true.
You gotta have critical thinking.
5 feet away, and literally it'll go behind the tree somewhere. Yeah, that's so inaccurate. And like you said, it took forever. If you see like war movies from the Revolutionary period, they stand in the line, they shoot at people 20 feet away. We're in the line.
Get your ass out of the way. If it was me, I said, what the are you doing? Get out of here. I go around a tree. But they just like to. They were not educated. They were in a frame of mind. The reptilians were really strong and completely and entirely controlling those people. They felt that they had to die for the country. And even if they died for nothing, literally being in front of other people, no, come on. But, we are moving into the future, and things are accelerating drastically. Absolutely. We are moving so fast into new technology, new reasoning, new feelings. And as much as the good is advancing, we are able to talk like if we were face to face. I can talk to my family in the other side of the world. Okay, we are moving so fast into technology, but at the same time, those good ETs who are promoting this technology are battling those who are promoting the other side of this technology, who are making sure to mess it up with hijacking the technology, malware. Oh, God knows what they are going to create because they're nasty. They are feeding the reptilians all the time.
What about artificial intelligence? Because remember, Elon Musk was essentially the only billionaire involved in the tech industry that warned us about it. No other company out there said, oh, hold on, let's stop and step back and figure things out before we let the genie out the bottle. Look at Sophia, the robot right now, the AI bot. And mind you, she was built, how many months or a year ago or years ago? So she's so out of date already. Exactly. God knows what the real AI that they're using or messing around with is capable now.
This is what the extraterrestrials became, a form of AI. They are reproducing themselves through the same technology that built them. Okay, but they don't have either the consciences or the spiritual, the feelings that we have in machines.
Yes,
of no soul. Tech. Yeah, no soul, exactly. Yeah. And then humanity is moving on that direction. Let's say as of today, you stop all the spiritualists. You hang every astrologer, every psychic, and every religious person. You leave on earth only people like Neil deGrasse. Okay,
like
the technology,
the two sides the next of your brain away. Yeah.
They're going to be walking around with antenna on their butt and their head, and the technology is going to take over themselves. We don't want to go there. We want to keep the human spirit free and allow to control the technology. The technology is going to control, is already doing it through the negative extraterrestrials, which are most of them are AI. And they are duplicating technology.
I think we've already hit, what is that time period when you hit, it begins with an S. Anyway, the point is, it's that point, it's like an equilibrium point. It's the point where artificial intelligence meets or power basically is parallel to where we are and then surpasses us. Therefore, it is the point of no return in many aspects.
Exactly.
So we already have been there before.
You just described the reptilians now.
Okay.
So
we're far way off than this happening in 20 years. This already happened essentially.
No, it's already in the works, and it's accelerating drastically. The idea for the extraterrestrial, the reptilians, is to destroy the human race. Okay, they are using their famous favorite tools, drugs, alcohol, pot, legal, illegal drugs, God knows what, so that they can hijack your body, your mind, and your soul, okay, from outer space, psychically, and drive you insane, depress you, and then you hang yourself or you kill everybody. It's happening all the time around you. They don't want us on planet Earth because planet Earth is a very, very extraordinarily rare piece of real estate in our universe. They want it. They want it. But the Draconis who have created planet Earth in some way or somehow, okay, and the solar system, they don't want it. It's like us. There is a war above your head, even if you don't see it. There is a war below your feet. You don't see it. There is war every second, everywhere, with every living thing that eat each other and kill each other. It's all between that force between life and death, the yin and yang, the good and the bad.
Well, it seems like we're not balanced anymore, like yin yang. We know we're complete opposite. Where
we are
the
more
negative
scientists,
is far worse than.
Or we are completely, or we are losing the spirit into religion and then following the dogma, looking down on the Bible or the Quran or any of those religions, which take away your critical thinking. When you say amen to something, you're not doing yourself a favor. You're not critical. You're saying amen. And then you have fear. Most of the time they say, oh, don't talk to Dr. Turi. Yeah. He's hell. He's the devil. You're going to go to hell. They don't realize they're already on hell, on the stupidity and their ignorance, feeding the reptilians.
Yeah, that's all negative energy that they're feed on all the time. And that would make sense why it makes people worse off than they were a few years ago.
Oh, you wait. That's just the beginning, my friend. It's going to get much, much worse. In the next few months from now, I'm telling you, America is going to lose a lot of kids. I wish I had better news, but people think I'm negative. I'm not negative. I'm going down to where the world is, into stupidity, ignorance, and negativity. And then from there, at the bottom, I'm trying to raise you out by making you aware to be positive, to be creative, to have a big smile on your face, not to endorse the negativity. But how can I do that without going down to where the world is? But ultimately, when people do a reading with me, oh my gosh, I turn them into eagles, literally, of positivity and recharge their spirit like a dead battery. When they come to me, they become chargers and they can go forever after that.
Have you seen an increase in people interested right now?
Oh, absolutely. My gosh,
people are waking up then.
Oh gosh, I just finished 500 readings.
Wow.
500. Consultation. I just finished. I have like 4 or 5 left. I'm exhausted. 2, 3, 4 reading a day. Okay. But I did it. Okay. All I'm trying to say, there is such a dead generation, so many questions with no answers about everything, that people, they're not stupid. They have feeling, they have intuition. And if they vibrate at a high spiritual level, if they vibrate at my cosmic speed, of course, they're going to knock at my door. They're going to feel, well, Dr. Turi knows what he's talking about. And they are right. But that's me to know. And then some of the skeptic to find out. So that's why there is such an increase. There is a need for spiritual food. They don't get it in religion and they don't get it through science. So they knock at my house because they feel there is something good to gain from there, and they do.
Yeah, obviously I can imagine, especially in a time like this, when you're providing some hope for them and giving them direction when there's such chaos and confusion happening literally every corner and you can't get away from it. That's things that really freak out. Okay, now let's go for another date too. What do you see after the 27th? Okay,
well, next year it will be the year of the Reptilians. Okay. I call it the dance of evil. It's coming. It's going to, it's like a very black, dark time for the human history, particularly to the United States, because the United States is a Cancer country, July 4, 1776. Cancer means home, family, security, food. That's why everybody wants to come here to represent security, the ancient car of the crab, Cancer. And what does he do all day long on a rock? He eats. America is a country with so much room. We can grow food for the entire world 10 times over. And again, American die of the fork, too much food. So the tail of the dragon for America is going to go right into the children.
Yes.
Now, this is, I wish I had a better information, But had you asked me the same question 2 years ago, I would say the tail of the dragon is going to go and curse the Latino. It's going to curse the black people, foreigners. We're going to have all sorts of negativity involving nature and animals. In fact, I was on coast to coast telling him, be ready for fire that's going to kill millions of people. 2 weeks later, it was the fire in Australia. Hello. And then the fire in California and everywhere else. Now, I said it was going to be a year of wind and fire. The same for this year. The same dragon is in progress right now, is moving. But on January 2022, the nasty dragon is going to move right on top of Russia. So the reptilians are going to run Putin's head and all the Russian.
So you think there's an actual threat from him at some point in a military action in some way, or no?
When you talk about Scorpio, you talk about death. We have elected a president that is a Scorpio. You look at his fate. It's all about dying and rebirthing. He's going to bring this to the United States. The good thing about him, he has the same dragon in Leo than the United States. He's going to put the United States where it belongs, the king of the world, the top country in the world, Leo, the king of the zodiac, the head of the United States. July, August, the dragon is in the second house of money. That's why America is so wealthy. And Leo rules France and Italy. That's why we say French are romantic. It affects our language. Oh, mais tu es gentil, John. Je t'aime bien, mon ami. Ça fait longtemps que je t'ai pas vu. You see how it sounds romantic?
Of course,
okay?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say, this head of the dragon is helping the president, is helping the United States. But he has the same tail in Aquarius, nukes, technology, the internet, anything to do with the technology is got across, like President Trump had a cross with foreigners and foreign land, making our worst enemies best friends and lying and then bringing all sorts of mess with Latino, with being racist, all the facts. In fact, if you put, I'm going to send you my book. Remind me, okay? It's the Nostradamus 2021 Dragon Forecast for all sign. You are going to read what I wrote, okay, well before everything happened. Everything that transpired in the world, okay, is in this little $20 little book. It's called Nostradamus Dragon Forecast. And
kind of like a journal logging in your predictions and then what happened.
Yeah, you could see afterwards. My gosh, he knew what he was talking about. Like an almanac.
Yeah,
exactly. And the 2022 will come out in August if I have time. I just passed my master captain license.
Oh, nice! Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I have the head of the dragon in my home area, so I study in the home area. I'm in sort of real estate, so I have to move. I'm moving to Key West, and I have the tail of the dragon in my career, which means I'm forced to change my career. I will still do what I'm doing, apart from that I'm going to overcharge people so they leave me alone.
Yeah.
Because when I finally retire. What month were you born, by the way? I forgot.
November.
Oh, you're a Scorpio. Oh my gosh.
Sagittarius.
No. Your sun sign is Sagittarius, my friend. You were born in the constellation of Scorpio. You're going to be touched by this dragon. It's going to affect your seventh house, which is really good. And from Sagittarius, you have a restructure of your seventh house also, which means the radio world is changing. All that is changing. You're facing the world with a different, you're kind of dying to one part of your life, put it this way. And then as come early January, the dragon is going to move directly on the months of your birth. So that is kind of a dying and rebirthing into a brand new persona. The good news is Peseta is coming. The head of the dragon in Taurus will be on your seventh house or your sixth house.
Well, thank you. That gives me something good to look forward to because obviously, like as I mentioned before, and I'll reiterate it again. It's been very frustrating the last several months to see things collapse around us. So anyhow, tell us something more interesting about this UAP report. Do you have any insight? Are we going to be told anything interesting, or like you mentioned with Neil deGrasse Tyson, nothing?
Look, you have to remember one thing. I'm telling you, they know that ETs are real because they picked up that flying saucer and those bodies in Roswell.
47,
and by the way, I am 6 feet under the city all in Roswell in a time capsule where I gave my prediction that'll come out in 2050 when I'll be 6 feet under the ground.
Wow.
Because you don't know. I did a conference over there. No, the government does not know anything. Remember, those people, the member of the government, the scientific community, they are rational, they are practical.
Yeah, like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Right. So they are basically going to divulge, okay, we know these things are real, maybe. Okay, but we don't know.
That's my question. Are they even going to say that? Or are they just going to say,
we already
don't know?
No, we already know they are trying so hard to cover the Roswell incident.
Of course.
But it's real. There's no way around it. Okay, it's real. So they'll come up with that fact, but that's not going to change anything, at least for me.
It's not going to change anything for me either.
No, because I already know it's real and I know what they're doing. But the government and the scientific community have absolutely no clue to what they want and who these things are. So they may say, oh, well, it's technology from this, from that. And they're going to try to come logical because they don't want to look stupid. Okay? But it will become, one day, you may be the one who is going to hang around walking with an ET one day. Okay? You don't know.
That's true.
It is coming because remember the ultimate justice of the human experience is that your future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thought. You are thinking and creating the reality of these extraterrestrials. When our thought process comes to that level, it will materialize. We create our future. Remember, what was this 200 years ago? Okay,
Magic.
So that's what I'm trying to say. It's coming. It's coming sooner or later. But I have some people says, well, you know what, Dr. Turi, if you have connection with extraterrestrial, why don't they give you a tool or a toy? Antimatter don't agree with this system. I would explode in trillion pieces if they give me something physical that they carry up there. And they don't come here when they feel like. There is energy and cosmic regulation that they have to respect before they can enter in our dense physical world. But what they will leave you with is psychical information, psychical intuition. If you open to it to extraterrestrials, they're going to talk to you. Now, there is two elements that can attract those experiences. First of all, if you have the stars, like me, you're loaded with Aquarius, you're going to attract these things like bees on honeybees. It's a given. Okay. Secondly, if you wear gold, okay, gold is eternal. It doesn't rust. It's a symbol for love and light and the sun. That's what the Draconis are doing. They are sucking the energy from the sun, which is unlimitedness, because there is billions of suns out there. Okay, and they use that energy to bring love and light, creativity. The sun, source of life number one. The sun, gold. Okay, carry gold. Secondly, do not carry metal. Because metal is
no keychain or anything like that.
No, it's the reptilians. You're gonna use a knife to kill somebody, a gun. You're gonna use your truck, your tools. This is what happened to what is his name? He was right here in Arizona. He was just taken away by Travis Walton.
Oh yeah.
He was hanging around. He was hanging around with his. He has the moon in Aquarius. So he's already prone to attract extraterrestrials, okay? But he's an Aries, which means he doesn't think. He goes first and then he thinks later. That's Aries. So what happened, he had his truck loaded with tools to cut trees. And all these guys carry guns. I do too when I go out, and carry knife, okay? And then they were there with all this metal. And next thing you know, he magnetized himself to the reptilians. They took him out there, they blew him up literally, and then the Draconis came and saved his butt, and it took 3 or 4 days to put him back together.
Yeah, that's the impression that he now believes as well, is that they killed him accidentally, and they took him to essentially repair.
No, but it was not the same guy. It was not the reptilians. The reptilians killed him. The Draconis revived him. And he has the head of the dragon in Scorpio, which means life and death. He's supposed to die and rebirth in his lifetime. He did it on a very different level. Okay. I know him pretty well. We spoke. I spoke to him many times. And when I was on my UFO trip on the cruise on the Mexico with him.
2020.
Yeah, we discussed all sorts of things about what happened to him, and I said to him, if you have to say the most painful area of your body, what was it? He said, it's my head, my brain.
You go, interesting. Why?
Because the draconists are in your brain already.
Oh, yeah, you
They're
mentioned that.
activating here. So you're constantly walking around being
The
pulled by
headache.
the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you can decide to be happy, or something happened to you, you turn negative, now you fit in the reptilians, or you fit in the drag. When I go and play piano to relax, for example, well, I just close my eyes and I go on my keyboard and I play, okay? And I'm being fed by the draconis. I create beautiful music, okay? And then all the neighbors say, oh my gosh, Louis, I love your music. They love when I play piano because everybody can hear me. And then meantime, if I have a fight for somebody on the internet or a loser that start to calling me names or God knows what, I'm trying all that I can not to feed the enemy. And it's the hardest thing you will have to do. You have to practice every single chance you have not to respond to negativity, not to feed the reptilians. Believe me, that's going to be the hardest thing you have to do. Try to be positive one day, 1 hour for that matter. It's gonna be
tough. Try to meditate more too is another thing I'm trying to incorporate. Absolutely. Now, give us some more news in the next. We got 15 more minutes, so I'm going to give you the floor. We went through 2 particular dates, and then you talked about what worries the heck out of me is the taking of the children. So you also talked about that we should have an economic recovery.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, we are going to have attacks from Russia and China at some point too.
That's already taking place. Yeah. So it's not going to get better, because Putin cannot be trusted. Putin,
he's former KGB.
Exactly. All he wants is us to self-destruct. And he's helping the situation by putting all sorts of negativity so that we can hate each other a little bit more.
And the propaganda machine
he's
China in the US is really bad. Worse than, during World War II in Germany.
It is terrible. It is terrible in so many ways. But at the same time, if we manage to bypass this negative energy, the reward for the human race, or the age of Aquarius, is the age of happiness, of love, of understanding, of progress, where you'll be able to leave your door open, and anybody that you see outside will be positive and regenerated and happy and secure. Imagine a world like that. Imagine that song, a world without religion, a world without
John Lennon. Imagine.
He was a dragon's head in Libra. Libra means the law, balance and harmony, positivity, a world of justice and legality. So he followed his dragon's head, so to speak. And Libra is controlled by Venus, which is the planet who regulates the art. In the reference to, because you mentioned earlier, Elon Musk. Elon Musk was born in July. Let me give you a little bit of an analogy of his UCI, his unique celestial identity, how I see it through the stars. Born in July, his soul's purpose is to feed and protect.
Okay.
Food, hotels, restaurant, that is his soul's purpose, okay?
Gotcha.
And in the second house of money, he becomes a Leo, August, okay? July, August, second house, like America. Okay. So this is where God wants him to shine. Whenever you have Leo in your chart, this is where God is offering an opportunity to reach a stage, to shine. And God, believe me, he shines with his money. He's got plenty of money. Okay. Now, you heard of Ross Perot? Ross Perot was born in July. He was also a billionaire. Okay. He was born in July.
Yeah.
Okay, so all I'm trying to say, the second house depicts the Leo energy. Now, let's go into his 10th house, which is the career, okay? So from July, including July, you count to 10, you're going to end up in April or Aries. What is Aries? Aries is ruled and controlled by a planet called Mars. And now you wonder why he wants to go on Mars. That is his career, the pioneer, Aries, the pioneer. So there is so many options to learn about anybody using the stars. And that's why, again, it's knowledge is power. So
we are returning to that level.
Well, this is the only way to survive. Okay, you have to bring this back to where it was, because even in disappeared civilization like the Egyptian, they didn't build their pyramid where they felt like. All the pyramids are facing specific constellations. So that tells you they were all aware of astrology. And then you have to remember also that the father of medicine himself said you cannot call yourself a physician or a doctor if you do not study astrology. You're talking about the father of medicine. I don't think it actually was hurt by looking at the way modern medicine is practiced today, where they're selling you all sorts of drugs because they want to make money and they don't care about your health, and they poison you.
There's a question here, Chill Delight. What about Capricorn?
Capricorn is a goat, and he has the body of a fish. He has a fish tail, okay? This means that Capricorn is the symbol chosen by Christians. Christians have chosen the fish to represent Christianity, but they have chosen the head of the goat as the devil or Satan, the goat.
Yeah.
Why is Capricorn the symbol of the devil? Because it is the doctor, the attorney, the politician that climbed the mountain. It takes many, many years to get to the top of the mountain. And once he gets at the top of the mountain, particularly politicians, they understand, they use and abuse the system. That's why they don't pay tax. We pay tax.
Yeah, it's for tips, sure.
Now, the positive Capricorn, on the other hand, understand how hard it is to climb the mountain, and he's curious, so he's allowed to use his fish tail.
Yeah,
His fish tail is anything to do with metaphysics and witchcraft. Is Capricorn, the head of the goat. That's why Christians call me the devil. It's the Capricorn, which is my subconscious, okay? In my case, in my work. So what I'm trying to tell you, if you are an advanced Capricorn and you're not just a rational, practical, earthy, atheist, agnostic, scientist, and you ask questions, then you get to understand how to use your fishtail, which means your direct connection with the moon. And you kill the black moon or the curse, and you can climb the mountain much faster and much easier because you're not using only the human calendar, but like the farmers used to do, you are using the moon calendar. That's what I teach to any Capricorn, to anybody, because you are a Capricorn somewhere in your chart. In fact, you are a Capricorn in your third house from November, okay? Counting November, December, January, Capricorn is politics. That makes you involved in politics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much
and
so.
And then from Sagittarius, you're on the cusp. Okay. Okay? You have you have the Sagittarius, and you have the Scorpio. And from Sagittarius is affecting your second house of money, which means you will do whatever you can to save the money, and you will build your fame, and you will build your finance, your financial security. But Saturn, the great malefic, is in charge of this house. He ain't going to give you nothing for free. So
it comes for free. That's for sure.
Not with Saturn. So you have to use your fishtail.
Of course. There's a request here for you if you see it on the screen. If not, I'll read it to you. From Louis Burkhead. Can you tell me about Aquarius born on 22nd of January?
Okay, well, he's an Aquarius first house. He's on the cusp. But when you have a cusp, you have a jewel. Okay, so I don't want to confuse him. Aquarius is me. It's a guy. He has a jar. Okay, and his soul's purpose is to get into the cosmic code, because Aquarius was New Age, astrology, UFO, the impossible, humanitarianism, the future of humanity, Japan. Okay, so he has to go up there. He has to translate all these metaphysical, cosmic values, put it in the jar, and the water that comes out of the jar is me or him if he's studying. Give that water to a very thirsty world. The world is thirsty for cosmic wisdom.
Yeah, it definitely is right now.
That's Aquarius. That's the purpose of an Aquarius. But you're not just a Leo, an Aquarius, a Virgo. You are every sign of the zodiac. Each time you flip into a different house, you become that sign. And then you have planets into those houses that stimulate the affairs of the house. And then you have a dragon, nettle, and hidden. Woo, a lot of work. But once you get to know that, you are very, to tell you the truth, what I really see with human beings, I see them as the shuttle. It's a beautiful machine, technological advancement that is able to fly very, very high. The problem is people want to fly, but they don't want to learn anything about the airport, the technology, anything that involves the
Mechanical
laws.
engineering,
They-
aerodynamics. Yeah.
Which means if they manage to take off, they're going to break their neck. That's what astrology is all about. It's giving you an
Crash
understanding
and burn.
to your cosmic nature on how to fly into the universe and do what God has intended you to do. Because if you're not happy, it's because you don't live your destiny. I live mine. I'm extraordinarily happy.
Yeah. A little bit ago, I left here everybody a link. You may not have seen it because it's not in red because I used it for my other YouTube channel name. Anyway, it's from minds.com. Essentially, that is like a Facebook type platform that pays you in Ethereum based tokens. And they've actually gone a step further now. And you don't even have to go to Coinbase and trade your tokens up. They will pay you directly cash into your bank account. And about a couple of years ago, when I first joined Minds, a token was worth 5 cents. Then it went up to about a quarter. They're valued about $1 right now. Now, if you all know me, I don't mess around really with social media. So the most I've ever done was pop a couple links in there. Well, I just opened it just to check it out this morning, and I was surprised that I found $26 that are waiting for me to cash it up. Now, I'm sure if I used it, I'd actually get paid more. But it was just for anyone who's interested, you could find me there because that's the only place that I know of where free speech is still alive. And it's a platform that has gone through the glitch phase and has survived everything and is still around. So I highly recommend checking it out. Find me there at Dr. J Radio Live. Again, the link's here in the last 5 minutes. Dr. Turi, where can people find you, by the way?
Well, drturi.com, www.drturi.com, and then you've got my movies there. You've got all sorts of, it's like a labyrinth of information. I'm 71 years old, so my website is as old as me, but it's like a gold mine. You're going to click one area, it's going to be leading all of you all over the damn place. There is some links that don't work. Blame me. I don't care. I'm changing career. So if you want to have a reading, do it now, because they are 350 and 700. But once I become a boat captain, I'm going to raise it all up to 1,000. You won't touch me when I'm on my boat unless you pay $1,000. You're not going to get to me. I just want to finally retire. Just go fishing. I'm a fish. I love fishing. I'm so glad I got.
They love to fish and swim, I've noticed.
Exactly. I have my pool. I'm always swimming. I'm having fun. I'm 71 years old. I only have a few years ahead of me. I don't want to have a headache anymore. But I am not officially retired. So if you want to
help you retired.
Well, no, I already have the money. No, we're financially secure, man. I've been doing this for years. I'm all over the world. I will always have people that ask me, even when I raise my price, they still come. People regenerate the spirituality. They have a good intuition and they know they're going to get something from me. That's for sure.
That's good. Well, Dr. Turi, it's always a pleasure. Stay by for a quick moment. I think I caught only few questions that were there. Obviously, people were more interested in hearing your predictions, which again, I'll have you back on to talk about them after those 2 dates.
You bet. You bet. I'll be here for you, man.
Let's hope it's not quick for me to collapse any of this.
No, don't attract it.
No. I'm throwing it out there. It ain't coming near me.
You can be in the middle of an earthquake or a tornado and still survive.
I had no problem. As long as it's like that, no problem.
Well, you can only magnetize those protective energy. If you said, oh my God, it's earthquake, I'm going to die. Well, you're going to die. Because it's a wish to your subconscious. Your subconscious does not rationalize. It has no clue what's right, what's wrong. It's going to bring it to you. So when I tell you again, pay attention, your future is the reincarnation of your thoughts. You need to really, 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 really digest the depth of this sentence. I repeat it again. Your future, my good friend, is nothing else than the reincarnations of your thought. Keep them clean.
Yeah, such a powerful statement. I'm gonna leave it right there. I think no better way to go. Everybody, make sure you check out his website. I'll leave links below.